Well, good evening, friends. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. It is lovely to see you again. But if this is your first time here, my name's Cheryl and this is What's for Tea. So if you haven't been here before, why not consider subscribing and ringing that wee notification bell just before you leave, and you will be notified when I post a new video. We are a family of 4 from the west coast of sunny Scotland, and I hope that I find you all very well indeed. So thank you for joining me for our week of family meals. I always start off on Monday all the way till today, which is Sunday, and thank you for getting involved in my wee thing yesterday. I posted my shopping haul and there was an obvious mistake in there, which was obviously the cayenne pepper was actually nutmeg. So yeah, I was aware of that, and it was just a wee game. So the winner that I asked you to comment over on my Instagram or DM me over on my Instagram, the first one to do so was going to get a wee surprise just from me. It was nothing major, just a wee small thing. So the winner has been notified and has been asked not to be named, so I've got to respect that. So but thank you all for getting involved, and it was just a wee bit of fun. So let me go and show you what we had starting off on Monday. And if I've done a recipe, you know, if I've done a video on any of these meals, you will find them in the description box down below. So on Monday, as you can see, I did make a lasagna. So it's just me and Mr. What's for Tea. So I just done a wee mini one. So very basic side salad, tomato, lettuce, cucumber, basil, and that's the lasagna there. And you can't really see it because of the way I put it on the plate, but I will show you in a wee second, and some garlic bread as well. So I just used the fresh pasta sheets that you'll have seen in my Tesco haul, and that's it there inside. You can see all of those lovely layers, and that was really tasty. Moving on to Tuesday, and I made a tomato and feta tart. So I was going to do a tomato and feta pasta bake, but I had puff pastry there, so I decided just to make it into a tart instead, and that's it there. And I didn't have this, but I'm told it was absolutely delicious, and again, just with a very simple side salad. So I'm going to show you quickly how I made this, because I know when I post these meals, you know, so many of you say, how do you do this and how do you do that? So I'm going to start incorporating more of how I do things. So this is the tomato and feta tart. So obviously start with a very warm oven tray, and that's my ready rolled puff pastry. You just want to make a wee border around the side with a knife. I don't know if you need to do this, but this is just what I done, and I don't even know if it made any difference. So you can use pasta sauce or any kind of, you know, passata, anything like that. I just used some chopped tomatoes and added some things in, and then I brushed the edge with some beaten egg, just to give it, you know, a nice colour when it comes out the oven. And to that I added some sun-dried tomatoes. These ones have got orange in them, and I didn't realise that, but it doesn't matter. So some chopped sun-dried tomatoes, and then a selection of cherry tomatoes and plum tomatoes. That's just what I had there, but you can use any tomatoes, I guess. And then a block of feta cheese, and I just crumbled that all over the top. I just used the whole thing. And then I also had some olives I needed to use up, so I popped some olives on the top as well. I whacked it into the oven for about half an hour just to make sure it was fully cooked, and this was it here. And I wouldn't overload that because you're in danger of the underside not being cooked, so yeah, just be careful with that. Moving on to Wednesday, and you'll have seen this one already. This was the chicken pie recipe that I posted. So we had some baby roasted potatoes, some green beans, and that's that chicken pie there. All of these recipes, you know, that I have done a video on, I will leave listed underneath this video, just in case you want to go and make it for yourself. And this was absolutely delicious. I did try a wee corner. Moving on to Thursday, and we had chicken parm or chicken parmesan, or just simply spaghetti and chicken. So yeah, some spaghetti on the bottom, and this is a chicken breast which I breaded, and I've cooked in marinara sauce and topped with mozzarella. And I've also added another wee bit of parmesan and basil to the top of that. Not one we have very often, but really tasty. Moving on to Friday, and we had simple rolls and soup. 2 of us had baguettes and 2 of us had morning rolls. 2 of us had my lovely cauliflower cheese soup, and 2 of us had wild mushroom soup. So that's the baguettes and what's-its, and that's a beautiful cream. It's a creamy, cheesy cauliflower soup, and I will show you in a wee second how I'd done this. It was absolutely delicious with the baguette, with the ham salad on there as well. But like I said, 2 of us had this, and Mr. What's for Tea really fancied the beef links from the butcher, so he had beef links from the butcher with the morning rolls, and I will leave the recipe for the morning rolls underneath this video, with some what's-its and some wild mushroom soup you'll have seen in my shopping haul, with a wee bit of cream and a few croutons on the top as well. So if you hang on till the end of the video, I have put in a wee sort of mini recipe video in case you want to go and make that cauliflower cheese soup. So on Saturday, Mr. What's for Tea and I went out to our local Italian restaurant. This one is called Cecchini's, and it's actually in the next town up from where we live. So we started with the chicken tempura. Mr. What's for Tea, of course, he always gets the pizza, but this time his pizza had ham and olives and tomato and cheese, and I really liked the look of this. This was SPEZZATINO, so it's a very rich beef stew cooked in red wine and garlic, and oh, it was just wonderful. Chips, of course. And this is just a wee quick look at the menu, and that garlic bread that came with that beef stew was just wonderful. I think it must be homemade. I haven't had the garlic bread like that ever, and I would quite happily just order a side of that and munch away, and that was absolutely beautiful. And underneath my beef stew is actually mashed potato, and I didn't realise that. Yeah, I wasn't keen on the mashed potato, but the stew was lovely. Moving on to today, and we had simple steak and chips. So I popped down to my local butcher and I bought these ribeye steaks. I did have steaks there, but those are for a stir fry that I'm doing, so I did want to get the ribeye. So with some ribeye steak, some roasted greens on the side, a wee potato and onion roasty, some oven cooked along with vegetables, tomatoes and some chips as well. So I'm just going to quickly show you how I done that cauliflower cheese soup, because I know some of you will be wanting to know. So start off with a large pan, pop in a knob of butter, let that melt, and to that add a finely diced onion and also a head of cauliflower. Just chop it up so that it cooks a bit easier and quicker. Give that a good stir round and saute this for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until it's softened up a good bit. To that you want to add your stock. So you use vegetable stock, chicken stock, whatever you like. I had vegetable stock, so that's what I've used. A couple of pints of that, and then a wee dash of nutmeg. Definitely nutmeg, not cayenne. Give that a wee stir through, and you just want to let this bubble away for about another 10 to 15 minutes until everything is lovely and soft, because we're then going to blend it, and you do want everything nice and soft. Now it's up to you how far you take the blending. We like a wee bit of texture in our soup, we don't like it completely smooth, but it's up to you. You can let it go, completely smooth if you like. So just blend that to your liking, and then turn your heat off. And then we're going to add in the double cream, but you can use creme fraiche if you prefer, but I love double cream in these kinds of things. And then all you have to do now is pop in some salt and pepper to taste, or leave this out completely if you don't want to, but I like to add a wee bit of salt and pepper. And then the last thing we're going to do is add in our cheese. Now I used 200 grams of cheese, which is about 7 ounces. I used half cheddar and half mozzarella because I wanted, the stretchy stringiness that you get from the mozzarella. I just love it. So I put half of each in, but do keep a wee bit back so that you can sprinkle some on the top when it's in the bowl. So just give that a good stir until all of your cheese is melted, and that's it done. All you have to do then is serve. So like I said, we had our soup and rolls with a few cheeky whatsits on the side, and that's that. Dead simple but lovely. Just before I move on, I wanted to say, as usual, a massive thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and I really should be over there more often, but oh my goodness, the time, where does it go? And also to the channel members here on YouTube as well. Thank you all very much, guys. And I know so many of you have been asking to see Jasper in action, not just a movie, not just a picture. So here's a wee picture of Jasper in action, chasing after his wee snack ball. We give him this every day. We put 14 treats inside, and it's just to give him a wee bit more exercise, because he is an indoor cat, as most of you know. So we fill this up, and he's really good with it now. He can have this thing emptied in like 5 minutes. It's got wee holes in it, so he's got to bat that around, and the wee snacks come rolling out, and he munches away on them. So it's really cute to watch, as well as being a wee bit of exercise for him as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch up with you during the week back here on What's for Tea. So take care, lots of love, and bye for now. Bye now.